Hey YouTube, KB Coolers here, and for today's video, I decided just to go into my Google Play and or the App Store actually, and look and see what the number one game right now is. So right now you are looking at the very beginning of the number one game in the free list. It is the number one free puzzle and is the number one free app game so far right now. It is called Toon Blast, and it's by Peak Games. It didn't have as many downloads as some other ones, but it did show up number one on the list. So however they are ranking these games, whether it's by ratings, it was a 4.8 star rating, so it's rated very highly. And it is a puzzle game, so we haven't tried any puzzle games here. So we're going to go in and we're going to just play a little bit, and we're going to try and answer a few questions. The number one is why is this the number one game? What makes this the number one game when you go to your games and you look under top free games? This is number one. It has 500,000 downloads. So we're going to take a look. It is pretty simple. Let's turn up the volume here just a little bit. It is pretty simple. You tap through. We're trying to collect blue and red squares, which we are doing so at a pretty good rate. This is the first one, so it shouldn't be very hard. We did not get 3 stars, but, well, we might. And we did. So there is a number of things, and they're going to show us more and more as this game goes on. The one thing that I do notice is the game runs very smoothly, and that when them little graphics jump up, they look pretty good. I mean, considering if you look at some of the other games that are in, this type, some of them don't look and act as crisp as this game does right now. I'm not making this video to, as this is going to be something we're going to continue a lot to try and do, because, to be perfectly honest with you, it's not really my favorite type of game to play. It is a very casual game, which is why I think that most of these casual games rate very high, because pretty much anybody can play them. I'm having some issues. The volume on this is kind of weird. It wants to jump around a lot, but what I do notice is this is a pretty simple game. Anybody can really play it. Now, I have family members that play a number of these type puzzle games, and at higher levels, they can be crazy difficult. So don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that the game itself is easy. I'm saying that it is easy to play as far as how the age group of people that can play it. I wouldn't have, there is no issue with my son, who is 8 years old, playing this game. As a matter of fact, I probably will continue and put it on his tablet so he can play this game, because I'm sure he'll love it. He'll love the little cartoon characters. It seems to be, this is where I think you get a lot of people that aren't, quote, gamers to play games, because it is very simple. You can just jump into it, you can play a level, and it really doesn't require a whole lot of dedication and time. Very casual, and the casual gaming market has really, it's transformed the way people look at, quote, gamers, and it's changed the demographic of gaming as well. Especially in with women gamers, there are so many more. My wife, who never played a console game, never played a a PC game, but when these games come out for mobile and she can just play on her cell phone, she plays all sorts of these games and puts hours of time into it. You know, when we're driving and, you know, she's sitting in the passenger seat, this is perfect. It's a perfect way to kill time. And I think that is by far what makes this so popular overall. I know it's hard for, you know, people that are, you know, I would say hardcore gamers, ones that put a ton of time and effort into a single game that they play all the time. They may not understand what this is all about, these type of games, but let me assure you that when I looked at some of the other games, some of them had hundreds of millions of downloads. So that right there tells you, you know, how many people are downloading these games or this type of games. This one was fairly small, like I said, at 500,000 downloads. But when you look at the Candy Crush games, and there are millions of downloads, so that gives you just an idea of how many people play this type of game. And the biggest thing is you can look at it. Go to your store and look at the top games, and I don't think you won't hit a game that's not a casual game in the top 10 at any given time. And it's because people now don't want to spend hours playing a game. They want to jump in, and if they have 5 minutes, that's what they want to spend. 5 minutes is what they're going to spend. Is that good for gaming? I don't know. It exposes a lot more people to gaming that you never would associate with gaming. It frees up money because these people do. People spend a lot of money on casual games. And, you know, it's one of the things that everybody's producing a mobile game now because of this. Franchises that you would never expect to see on mobile platform are doing so because the money. This is where the money is as far as gaming today. It's hard to say. Is this the future of gaming? I do everything mobile on the channel. You all know that. And I think as time goes on, I think you're going to continue to see things being pushed. You're always going to have that hardcore gaming aspect that is going to always want to play just that one game and solely dedicate themselves to that game. But it's getting to be very hard for manufacturers to solely support that because of just the sheer numbers that you see on games like this right here. It really is incredible at the number of people that play these games. So tell me what you think in the comments. Do you play any of these? Do you have family members that play them? Do you agree with me that this is that this would probably be the future of gaming? You're looking at it right here, and that right there should finish up the level, and they're fun to play. I'm sitting here just chatting along with you, kicking off levels, and I'm sure as this gets harder, it will get a lot more fun and a lot more challenging. But you know, these aren't totally my cup of tea. I just wanted to see why they rated this game number 1, and I think I see a lot of upside to why it is rated number 1. The one thing that I do notice that is a little different with this one is that you get an individual level. You're not actually walking on like a map like a lot of the Candy Crush and that type. You kind of move your way through a map. Another one that my wife absolutely loves is Pet Rescue. She loves the game. Spends tons of time playing it. I can't really get into them. I help her when when she gets stuck on a level. I try to give it a try, and I often can do very well. But it's not my type. I like to be a little more involved all the time. I also like to spend a lot more time playing games. I prefer more of a strategy where and more of a PvP where it can be challenging with other people. That's the type that I like to play. But there is nothing wrong at all with this type of game, and it actually has, in my wife's case, opened her up to other types of games because, like I said, she was never a quote gamer, so it was a big thing when she decided, hey, I'll try some other games, and I've gotten her to play some of the other games that I enjoy playing. And I was trying to think about moving that over. That's not going to work, but that one will. Let's see what the bomb does. No, that wasn't all that great of an idea, but there we go. But as I was saying, it opened her up to a lot of different types of games that she wouldn't normally have played, and I think that's a good thing. I'm not sure if we're going to actually beat this level. And we probably should, but... And there we go. So, that is a look at this game, this week's #1 game. I may actually do that as a kind of a weekly thing. I may just go on. Today is Tuesday. Hopefully I will get this posted on Tuesday, and I may just pick the #1 game on the list if it does change. If not, we will go break it down. As this is the #1 puzzle game, we can break it down into the different some other genres of games, and we'll pick the #1 game, and we can play on Tuesdays the #1 game that's out there, and we can see exactly why they are so popular, and we can also try and figure out where the direction of gaming is going, because you better believe it that game manufacturers keep an eye on what that #1 game is on that list, because when you have a #1 game, that puts you out, that you're in front of a lot of eyes, and that's what it's really all about, is getting people to download the game. Keeping people involved is always good. It doesn't always happen, but I think there is some other more casual aspects of games that people should really start to think about, because I've played too many recently that require entirely too much time and money. That's not really a good thing. I'll be talking about in the video coming up some more of the Game of Thrones, and I'll show you how I'm doing on that, and I'll also talk about how that game is becoming or not becoming, is a pay-to-win game by far, because you'll see just the difference in level disparity between some of them are absolutely crazy. Some of the alliances have just gone crazy as far as just the amount of money spent playing, and unfortunately, some can argue if that's a good thing or a bad thing. It's obviously good for the developer; they're making money, but is it bad for the longevity of the game? And I will be doing just making some more videos on that, and if it gets to a point where I think it is becoming too much of that pay to win aspect, where it not only does it become pay to win, but it becomes pay to just survive in the game, that will be the last I continue to play in this video, though, because I'm not willing to invest the thousands of dollars that people do, and they definitely have already on that game. And unfortunately, when you talk about people that generally put money down like that, it gets into a whole shady area of how all these games kind of make money like that. Most of the money that's made, unfortunately, is from huge problems in the mobile strike, and it's always going to be. I've met a few people, and just a select few people, that I know put down their money on these games. I'm speaking on mobile strike right now, and it became, for her, it literally was an addiction, to the point where I believe her husband got her to stop playing the game after she was really spending thousands of dollars per month. They obviously weren't hard up on money at all, but her base got zeroed one time, and no joke, it was like a suicide watch for this woman. It literally ruined her life, and a game like that should not have that sort of impact on you. I'm sorry. I know there's a lot of dedicated players out, but to the point where you're taking away from your family and ultimately thinking about doing away with your life because of something that happens in a video game is absolutely insane, and it's just really, it shouldn't happen. First off, there's always people. It's not the game's fault. But they do have some responsibility as far as the way they set their games up. Is this going to hurt somebody? And unfortunately, in that situation, it really did. And I actually haven't talked to her since I stopped playing the game. I really hope that she's okay. But I actually did meet her and her husband out for lunch one day. So it's not like, somebody I met online. I actually did sit down and talk to these people, and he confirmed that, and she did too, that how much money was put into that game. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't support games that you like and enjoy, but let's be honest, when you go buy a gaming system and you buy a game, you pay $60-$80 for a game. Okay, if you want to do that for a mobile game that you support, to help the developers and stuff like that produce more, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there is, and I believe that you should, put into it. They are also making money from ads and stuff like that. They do, of course. But I believe that you shouldn't, when thousands of dollars are being dropped on a mobile game, or not just mobile game, on any game, I'm sorry, it's just not something that I believe is good for the gaming community, because you don't want to, I don't want to be called as to be one of those people that go in and ruin other people. It used to be, I remember it was huge with with World of Warcraft and people just, spending all their time and everything, and people just totally giving up on the rest of their lives to play a game. I don't believe it to be a good thing for gaming in general. I think we've come a long way as far as getting away from that statement of gamers being lazy and stuff like that. I think we've come a long way showing that we are productive. We can be productive members of society, and I believe games like this help that. But we need to help people that get sucked into these games that really developers have set up so that they fail. They're set up for people to become addicted to it. It's just not really a good thing. But there we go. That should be enough of my ranting for the day. So let me get back. I haven't talked too much about the game. I've just been clicking off levels, and it is sure fun to sit and do, especially as I'm sitting here talking, making the video. It's it's something simple and fun to play. Later, it is a game I've had to play, so I don't see why I wouldn't break this But like I said, tell me what you think about the game itself. Hey, I don't know what level that you're at now, because it did say in there that just added 15 levels to the game. So I'm sure there's if it's like many of the other ones, there's hundreds if not thousands of levels. And I thank you all for watching. I think we will do this for Tuesdays. I'll have to remember, I will write it down, because I've been kind of off sequence with my early access. I'm not getting early access yesterday. That I am finding I'm enjoying the early access games more and more. It's kind of nice because it gets you an idea of what the coming. So maybe Tuesdays will do number one game of the week, and I will literally play just whatever shows up as tell me what you think. If you don't like it, hey, put in the comments, hey, I don't like this type, because ultimately I'm here to put up videos that I'm not sitting here doing this.